Okay, today is Thursday, March 31st, 9:38 a.m. Denver time. I am disappointed and I got excited when they ruled, there's an agenda in politics in here, but let me go through this anyway, that they ruled that Texas could go ahead and enforce their arresting illegals law. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am firmly convinced that was not in the agenda, that was not pre-planned, or maybe it was pre-planned on their part, but they didn't inform anybody. And the reason I say this is because when I did my video, and by the time it uploaded, by the time I did the video, and it uploaded on BitChute first, and then YouTube, approximately, it was over 2 hours. It went by 2 hours and 10 minutes or something. And as I'm uploading the videos, I have my TV, and I'm flicking back and forth between Fox, CNN, and MSNBC, and I'm listening, on my tablet, I'm listening to comics on YouTube. So this is going on and on. Now, the reason I believe this was a surprise thing is because we should have seen CNN coming out and saying, how fucked up it is, these poor immigrants seeking asylum, the poor women, the poor children, they just want to come here for help, they want a job, they want a better life. And we should have seen Fox News popping out there, news alerts from all three channels popping out. Oh, look at this! The courts finally ruled that Texas and other states can do this and do that to stop the leeches, the life sucking. They're sucking the life out of America and the economy, and finally they can do something. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours later, Governor Abbott should have come out with a press conference, not overdoing it, but praising the court for finally doing the right thing, for finally stopping the invasion, for finally doing something to save the country. None of that happened. When they finally did come out, the first one I noticed was CNN said something for maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. It was a long time before I saw any blurb, anything out of Fox. Like I said, I was revolving to the stations about every 10 to 20 minutes while listening to comedians on YouTube, and bullshit. That should have been plastered all over CNN and Fox, with their left, their right, and it did not happen. It's just because I would have looked, because this was unprecedented for them to say, yeah, you could go ahead and do this to shoot down the Biden administration, that side of the agenda. But this snuck up on everybody, and I really don't think they knew what the fuck to say, but they should have come out there and been saying, CNN, this is so fucked up, Fox saying good things, way to go and all this shit, but just fucking, I want to go through some other stuff. I had to take some notes on my little card here. Okay, do you remember when COVID got going, we saw on all these channels, we should have been seeing all these people dropping dead in the streets, or at least passing out sick, supermarkets, convenience stores, driving their cars. This major, unprecedented worldwide pandemic, which never happened, correct? Okay, now what did we see? I'm going to guess 21, when it started, maybe 22, and this is not just about Richie from Boston, this is about all channels that propagate the same shit over and over. They showed all these doctors, or there's at least 2 of them, saying that when people got the combination of the COVID vaccination and the flu vaccination, millions were going to drop dead in the streets. That never happened. As I've said over and over for years, our part of the world, the alternative media, the awakened people to the New World Order, we are fed constant issues of bullshit through mainstream, through websites, through things being issued and put out from government websites over and over. And another prime example is, I believe it was changed now to the 2030 agenda. It used to be 2025 or something, and this combines with Event 201. But the big one was how, I forget which one it was under, but the big one was how they were showing us all these maps that these New World Order people put out. I forgot if it was 2030 used to be something else. I don't remember. I didn't feel like looking it up. But remember they showed us all these areas in the mountains and other places that were going to be shut down, and we'd be in these in the bigger urban population centers. None of that. This is a big one. This is a big one, because this shows you the shit they put out to distract and divide and to keep people prepping to do nothing. But this is a big thing, because this has never happened. I dare anybody, like I challenged Richie from Boston people, to show me anything he's ever predicted ahead of time, and especially when he said he predicted COVID months before it happened. Anyway, this stuff, we were going to all be ran out of the mountains, all these other areas. They were just going to be for the freedom of the animals, the environmental reasons. We're going to be on all compact cities. They were going to shut down all these mountain towns, all these towns throughout all the way to the East Coast. Name one town that's become extinct or shut down. Name one. Oh, and that takes me back to, remember, down south and southeast, there's, I believe, 5 Walmarts that got shut. They were shut down, and oh my God, they got their underground bunkers going. They're going to be FEMA camps, and I can guarantee you, our people, our alternative media, there's only a couple I ever saw that talked about it, and it was because they were trying to form a union. But they didn't want to carry that, because that doesn't fit the agenda. That doesn't fit their channel. That doesn't fit. It's all collapsing. It's new. It's martial law tomorrow. It's gun confiscation, which is other things on my list here. None of this shit ever fucking happens, because so much of this shit put out is they've admitted they got propaganda sites that the government runs to feed us full of shit. The left, the right, and us. And then you got channels, and we don't know which channels are in on it, that we all know of, that either they're in on it, or they're aware of it. They don't give a flying fuck, because they want to make their money. They need their subscribers, they need their views, and especially they need people to purchase off their sponsors and all the items they sell. That's all the motive behind any of these channels. And I even said this in a long time. Go back to for those, there's a few here that have followed me since my original channel on YouTube, starting roughly, I need to check the date, roughly 6 years ago. All these channels, every last one of them, sales, sponsors, ads, buy this, buy that through me, and you can save 10%, you can save 20% as they get their cut of 5 or 10%. It's insanely fucking stupid and pathetic. None of these channels are out there putting out videos for free. Not a jack shit one of them. Okay. Well, okay, I'd like to mention the bigger issues. Gun confiscation never happened. FEMA camps for various reasons never happened. North Korea, EMP satellite, not going to happen because it's non-existent. China or Russia invading from Canada or from Mexico never happened, because remember they showed all those, there were satellite pictures of, supposedly satellite pictures from MapQuest or whatever of all these tanks and all this shit that's sitting in Mexico. Even if that's legit, that was their own shit. But whatever happened, all these people over and over, their sheep, the flocks that belong to these channels are as lame and as stupid and pathetic as those that follow the left, the right, or any religion whatsoever. They're just as pathetic, they're just as easily led to the slaughter as anybody else. They all get vast amounts of income from them, and as we've seen that, all these channels, they don't have jobs because they make more than enough money doing. Richie must have had an issue to do a GoFundMe with his fake burglary bullshit, but oh fuck. Oh, what happened to the Ukrainian nuclear plant that was ready to pop? That's all gone, because that was horseshit. I'm going to show a screenshot here in a second. Do those people remember Russia, well, not Russia, but the United States claimed, let me stop here and do the screenshots. This has to do with that mock aircraft. Pause here. I have to show a screenshot for this one. Okay, this is from June 22nd of 2021. Russia sinks it's a mock aircraft carrier near Hawaii as U.S. Navy strike group heads to the region and fighter jets on standby. U.S. forces under high alert after Russian destroyers and fighter jets ventured within 35 miles of Hawaii and Moscow's biggest war games ever. Around 20 warships, submarines, support vessels, and 20 fighter jets took part in the military exercise. This was on mainstream media too. Okay, so they got within 35 miles from Hawaii, and nobody saw them. We're just supposed to believe it because they put that shit on there. Nobody in Hawaii, no tourists, no people on sailboats, nobody took a video or a photo, even if they did not realize this was a Russian fleet. Nobody saw nothing, and they didn't scramble nothing until they got within 35 miles of Hawaii. Pure propaganda bullshit. No, come. How can we be that fucking stupid? I mean, a fucking Russian fleet 35 miles off Hawaii, and not even the U.S. said anything until they got that close? Pause. I just took a picture of this a few minutes ago before I started this video. Abbott, we will fight back against the invasion. Why? How are you going to do this? By continuing to ship them to other countries, other states through not the United States. Your invasion, bullshit. Like if they want to do something, they would do it. And again, if Abbott activated the National Guard, deputized thousands of people, the Biden administration, the White House, the New World Order agenda is not going to send down troops or FBI guys or ATF to arrest him. Give me a fucking break. Pause here. Okay, as I have not said in a long time, this has to do with the electric vehicle shit. No, you got to sell so many. They got to be for sale so many by what's it now? 2032 apparently. This whole electric car thing is bullshit. All these New World Order people know that this EV horseshit is horseshit. I know the only thing I can come up with is the reason they want a lot of electric vehicles on the street, because in the future, and I'm in the near future, we're going to have issues with oil because of the geoengineering, which is going to result in, as we see now, less cooperation between various countries on imports, exports. Pause here. Okay, this goes along with this propaganda horse shit. So this, I think, popped out yesterday. The Biden, the New World Order agenda, is canceling $6 billion for 78,000 public service workers. Okay, and who pays for that? Of course, us taxpayers do. So again, all these students that are getting their debt canceled, they're all hippie hooray, and who gives a flying foot because all that debt, like everything, is spread out amongst us. Like all the money that's being spent from states, and that's what comes from the feds for medical and other shit, that we're covering the debt for these illegals, and they act like the states are covering it. No, the states aren't covering it. We are. Yes, they are, but we are. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter what they run these tallies up. Oh, I have to show something else that goes along with this big time, but let me pause here. A week or so ago, I can't do the Washington Post because they want you to join, email, whatever. Immigration to boost U.S. GDP by $7 trillion over a decade. Go read this. They go through the figures on how comparing what we're blowing money on illegals, covering them, compared to what they're going to add to the economy in over a decade is true. Because what they're looking at, besides getting bodies over here as the planet starts to die, is they're using these people to add tax dollars. And this is true, because if you read through it, think about it. Don't think about it from our alternative media thing. Think about it from facts. Oh, shit, hang on. Okay, that was my work phone. They're activating SWAT for Sunday. But, shit, where the fuck was it? Oh, anyway, like I said, if you look at the facts and the figures and think about it from the money point of view, their taxpayer point of view, they are going to benefit in the long run because, you figure 77 million immigrants in the last 3 years, they've gotten most of them on the tax rolls by now, even if they're getting paid minimum, blah, blah, blah. Just look at it from the anyway, in a decade ain't going to fucking matter anyway, but let me pause. It's like the electric vehicle horse shit, but let me pause here. Okay, I just saw this on the news this morning, so I Googled it. U.S. Secretary General Youth Climate Advisor calls for whites to be stripped of power in revolutionary fights, published March 20th. Let's see what she had to say here. Youth Climate Advisor has a history of destruction that call for the destruction of capitalism. Claimed terrorism is used as a Western smear to justify its imperialism and attack. And she attacked white people for purportedly fueling humanity's extinction via the climate crisis. Look how true that is. That we claim terrorism whenever we want to get anything done. Like I said, to justify its imperialism, and she attacks white people. I don't know if she's talking about all or those in power. That's the only thing I can understand by reading this. For extinction via the climate crisis, which is exactly what they're fucking doing. Blah, blah, blah. Is there anything else here? Okay, let's move. No, there's some more. According to social media posts, this Antigua is more than an environmentalist. She unabashedly promotes radical leftist beliefs like abolishing the police, espousing socialist ideals, sharing Marxist theme and anti-capitalism content while repeatedly denigrating white people. So that makes it apply all white people. But let's take it that she's talking about the white, you know, the old thing, the old adage that's gone on for years, just old white fat people running the country. Well, they're all not fat, but they're all white. Okay, let's move on. There's something else she said here. She didn't get involved in climate to protect the environment. She wanted to rail against the West for its wars and involvement in the Middle East, which she claims is ultimately connected to oil, of course, according to May 2020 on her Twitter. I got to climate activism. I didn't want to protect the environment, although it's valid. I became involved because the West slaughtered, bombed, and starved my people to death in the name of oil, and no one talks about it. Exactly, period. So she appears to be 98% correct. Let me pause here. Oops, there was one more. When I think of fossil fuel, I don't think of pollution. I think of organized terrorism, of course, the agenda, the New World Order, the U.S., and I think of demolished democracies. Of course, we know about, quote, democracies, at the hands of the West. She wrote a separate post in 2020. There was one more. Why is it that when non-white nations stand up against bombing and pillaging of natural resources, that they are immediately vilified, and that vilification is attributed to an innate problem in their psyche, or concept of living known as religion? There is a reason why the phrase Islamic terrorism is only 60-ish years old. The vocabulary was invented to justify covert Western imperialism. Exactly. That is so fucking true. We blame religion on all these countries we go invade for various reasons. When the U.S. and the New World Order agenda goes into other countries, they blame it on religion, they blame it on the lack of democracy, they blame it on protecting women so they don't have their vaginas trimmed and have to wear burqas, which is, that's fucked up, but that's the way they operate, so fuck them, let them have their own countries. But anyway, we go over there, the U.S. goes over there, the agenda goes over there, invades other countries, and the people that are defending their countries, as we've heard over the years, because we know they're the terrorists, they're the bad guys, they're the insurrectionists. What's the other words? I can't remember anyway. They're terrorists because they're trying to defend their own country. Blah, blah, blah. Pause.
Oh, the word I was missing was the popular one they used was insurgents. But let's roll.
Oh, and I just did a little bit of this. I was looking through. I forgot to take a picture of the older white dude she was talking to, but he's an older business partner of Hunter Biden. This is that AOC lady. I've never listened to her voice before. I've read stuff on her over the years. She's a major part of the agenda, of course. But the white dude that was Hunter Biden's ex-business partner is saying that she's saying what kind of crime did he commit, and he says RICO. And she says, okay, Rico, what? And he just kicks in Rico, and she says, well, Rico is not a crime. And he's saying, yes, Rico is not a crime. She says, they do this, or this is all to clear Hunter Biden. That's the program, the agenda here. But she keeps saying Rico is not a crime. He's saying Rico is a crime, is not a crime. And Rico is not a crime. Rico is an act. What he should have been saying and what she was asking is what crime did he commit under the RICO Act, but he's not listing one because he's not supposed to, because this horse shit underneath the agenda is all about clearing Hunter Biden. I'm so glad I turned my TV up on that part because I've never heard her voice before, but she sounds like a 16-year-old kid who got power over mommy and daddy. But pause here. Oh, I see shit pop up on the news now, and this Joe Rogan guy, he's as much of a worthless piece of shit as everybody else, regardless of what he talks about. Because why? Because that's all he does is like anybody else, like Fox, anybody that claims to be doing anything on our alleged side. Fox, YouTube, BitChute, Post, blogs, Joe Rogan, yap, and nobody does a fucking thing to stop anything, except, like I said for years, we're the government's secret weapon. We're going to prep to run and hide and not stop anything. But to pull this up, this is live. Richie's Boston, 25,026. Pull your GoFundMe page now because you got your 25 grand for your bullshit being ripped off. Pause. Hey, I need to bring up El Paso again because we hear how all the Texas border is closed, but only in Eagle Pass. No media mentioned anything outside of Texas, within the state of Texas, except Eagle Pass. We hear about the migrants crossing in California and Arizona, but what about the rest of the Texas border? 1,500 to 2,000 per day. Go Google this shit. El Paso is very illegal friendly in fucking mass. But it's all about the focus on Eagle Pass. It's all about the focus on General. He might as well be a fucking general, but Governor fucking Abbott, who, as I keep thinking about it and watching and listening to him, he's part of the agenda. Does that mean everybody below him are the citizens, the residents of Texas? No, of course not. But that may be it. Pause here. Looking through my screenshots, add this one. This is on the news. Immigration judges dismissed against some 200,000 migrants under Biden because DHS failed to file paperwork in time to get them to court. Blah, blah, blah. You can be sure it's probably more than that. But anyway, they piecemeal us all this shit underneath the left and the right. The two. Again, I guarantee you there's two agendas in the New World Order. Neither one of them give a flying fuck about us because we saw that when Trump was the commander-in-chief. And it's all just bullshit. But still, I was hoping so much that when they said Texas could enforce that arresting illegals and get rid of fucking law, because that would have changed the way things went around here. We would have seen protests and, some rioting and looting here and there, but at least it would have changed things and made it more exciting for a few minutes. And see you later. Bye. I even add on as I was starting to upload this regarding the whole. I got to do phone to phone again. So hopefully this is going to look okay. But this Civil War horse shit. Okay, we have all these various peoples. There's, probably millions of people throughout the country that are prepping for Civil War, race war, Russian invasion, EMP, CME. But let's stick to anything that will cause any sort of chaos with the United States. All these people, individuals, families, groups are prepping to survive something and to be the main group when something happens. So let's take Civil War combined with martial law, or not combined, but any of the issues, Civil War and martial law, or the collapse of the United States. Let's just leave out an invasion. The United States falls completely apart, so what's going to happen? You're going to have this is like in the movies, The Walking Dead, when civilization falls apart, any of these apocalyptic Armageddon movies, and what happens? You have the remaining, whatever military's left, fighting against individuals, families, or larger groups that are pockmarked throughout the United States. And this is fact. This is not fiction. This is the way it would go. And you would have all these groups fighting for supremacy over their county, their whatever, hundreds or thousands of square miles, their state, and I mean, this is insanely fucking stupid and pathetic, but this is the way would actually work out. And you know what? Not just from the movies, but think about it. If things fell apart here, this is the way it would work out. So they're going to be fighting not against the remaining government, not against the remaining military, but they're going to be fighting against other groups that say, no, this is my territory. No, this is my territory. This it's mine, mine, mine. This is exactly the kind of bullshit that would happen if things did fall apart. So there's not, and they're going to count themselves winners. They're going to count themselves winners just because they can control their X amount of square miles of real estate, their state, a couple states if they got a large enough group and can go kill all the other people that are saying their territory is theirs. This is just insanely fucking stupid on every fucking level of these groups that think they're going to reign supreme. They're going to be the new top 1%. They're going to be the new top 10%, which is all this horseshit's about. Well, I have more guns than this other group. I have more prepper gear. We have more wildlife to feed off of. We have more water. It's nothing but stupidity and insane shit that's been designed to be imprinted on all our minds in us as individuals, in us as groups. If it fell apart, nobody's going to be doing nothing to take over the fucking country. They think they will. How are you going to do, even if you're in some state that has a group of 1,000, 5,000 people, how the fuck are you going to take over the country when you have to go fight through all the other groups to try to get to where the military is and knock off the remaining? It's just fucking stupid, retarded shit. But that's the way we've all been programmed. This is all programming, nothing but programming. And they only have to program a few seconds, a little minute, pop that minute belief in your head, and a lot of it comes through the fucking movies they put out over the years, and the agenda and the papers they put out for martial law and FEMA camps, and that gets everybody to form their own little groups, and their own little group. All these little groups don't do jack shit, and look up U.S. Code 285 on. Let me pause here. Let me pull this up real quick. I think that will show backwards on the phone, so I'm just going to read you the first paragraph. Whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession thereof, or the government or any political subdivision thereof, by force or violence or by assassinate, blah, blah, blah. Whoever with the intent to cause overthrow, sells, distributes, circulate issues. Go read this fucking thing. But let me pause here. I want to add in, why did they do this? I think it started in 1940s over immigrants or illegals, but pause here. And that's because in the Constitution it says, when any form of government becomes obstructed to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter, abolish it, and to institute a new government. There's another line in there, but you get it. That's why they wrote that up. In that first paragraph I read, that covers everything. They could come after me and most other channels because of the things we said, because if it's even a fucking thought, they can come after you for saying you want to overthrow their government. But it's just fucking horseshit, all these groups that think they're going to do something, that think they're going to reign supreme over the whole fucking country if shit falls apart. It's insanely and completely fucking stupid at every level. And that's it now. I have an add-on as correction, that is U.S. Code 2385. And end of this video.
Okay, I still have one more add-on. Let me pause this. Okay. What happened to RFID implanted chips to go to work or purchase anything? Remember some years ago, we saw those wonderful videos of those employees. They had a chip in their hand. They could go in the door and use the vending machine. Remember, that was supposed to take over to work us or purchase anything. There was another video somebody put out, and the channels ran away with it. They were in like a convenience store, and they were showing the glass doors you open and how you're going to have to use a chip to open them and buy anything. They were putting some sort of DNA or something in the shots to control us, or chips. 5G was going to kill us or turn us all into zombies. And again, this is all about programming the militias to do anything with the to teach the militias and to get them to understand they're supposed to stay back in the. All these militias, these preppers, survivalist groups, I get it, I understand it, and I respect it, and I'd rather be with one of them than with what's going on now. But at the same time, you're not going to overcome anything. Okay, look, nowadays what we have is the programming, the planning is you get married, you have roughly 2.5 kids, you work for a living, you die, and it recycles. You know, generation after generation and after generation, it recycles. What do you got in all these I'm talking about the bigger groups, or even the smaller ones, but the bigger ones, the preppers, the serious militia groups. What happens? They're in hiding, so to speak, but the government knows where all you fuckers are, where all of us are. So what happens as the years go by? You recycle and recycle. You do the same thing over and over. And even if shit did go bad, the apocalypse, Armageddon, whatever, you're going to recycle this shit, same thing over and over. You're fighting for your turf. You're fighting. Fuck, it's just endless bullshit, propaganda, programming, agenda. I mean, you have to get the picture. I know people know what the hell I'm saying, and here.